Out for a ride today on the Rancher, the Memorial Day weekend. Been a while since I've been able to get out and ride because the weather has been raining like practically non-stop the past couple of weeks now. Every time I have a little bit of free time, it seemed like it was raining, so I haven't been able to get out in a while and make a video, do any riding, but today's the day. Just riding this old Watkins Farm trail over here. A lot of things have grown up now. You know, spring and full bloom out here, you know. Some of the paths are not, you know, travel. You can't travel them anymore right now, you know. And but most of them are open still, you know. But things grow up quite a bit, you know, as you can see. This trail right here usually stays open though. It generally doesn't grow up, so because it gets used pretty regular. Right much darker up in here now. All the leaves on the trees, puts a lot of shade on the path. Big difference from what it was back during the winter time. And a low-lying limb there. Ride up this way a little bit. This path's grown in a little bit. It's still not too bad though. Kind of narrow though. It feels good to get back out and ride again. Like I said, it's been probably at least, I'd say at least 4 weeks since I've been able to get out and ride. It's been too long. I imagine this little section right through here washes pretty bad during a heavy rain. I can look at it and tell it's like it's kind of a bit of a washout through there. section right through here. You got to be careful what you let brush against you, because a lot of poison ivy growing on these tree limbs and hanging down overhead. Real nice day outside. It's ironically though, for the month of May, it's only 65 degrees. Usually it's probably about 80 around here. This is comfortable though, you know. But just a little bit on the cool side compared to what it is normally, you know, in the area. Get down in the 40s at night past couple of days, but I think by the beginning of the week though, it's supposed to warm back up into the 80s. So just a little cold spell. I hear weather people said it was coming down from Canada, so just a little cold spurt, maybe the last one we'll have before it gets hot. A lot of ferns growing right along in there. Looks like the moist soil down through in here in this bottom. Go up here a little ways and turn around. The trail keeps on going, but it goes by a man's house. He's got a bunch of dogs that run loose and stuff, and they get chasing after you, and then he has to kind of get a hold of them and round them up, you know, and stuff. So most of the time I just turn around down here on account of that, save him that trouble. Keeps on going, goes across the road, links back in with some of the other paths, you know, that I typically ride on. Go right up that hill there. His house is right there at that opening. Like a turtle right there. That little round thing right there in the water looks like a turtle shell, but he don't look like he's moving. He must be dead. Creek here. Got just a little bit of flow to it. Going down that way. I'll ride a little ways up here up the old creek path. That's grown up real bad because nobody really can ride on it because it's so wet, as you can see. I just wanted to ride up here and see how it was up the way here. I hadn't been up it in so long, but hoping to be able to bush hog it once it dries out some. But I tell you, it's been a mess. So we've been having a lot of rain here lately too, so that's made it even more soggy than it normally is. Trying to take it slow because I can't see, if there are any rocks or anything up underneath here. Yeah, this has grown up a bit. Wow, look at that. Now I'm just gonna turn on around. Worse than what I thought it would be. I mean, you ride right over the grass, but I mean it's a lot of rocks and things, and then just not been able to see. Then I get back here and mow it, bush hog it down, it'll hopefully soon I'll be able to get back here. Real pretty out there, don't it? I miss the trees, I tell you. Go up this way. This path right here is washing out bad. Man that owned this land, he made ditches, drainage ditches on each side of the path. There's a logging company came through and did their mess back here. They ruined all the drainage ditches. And now the water just washes right down the middle of the path and routing it out. A bunch of debris and stuff, you know, all in the way. That was the M&M road there. I think it used to be a real smooth path, but it's bad. It's okay right there in that section. You get about middle way up and all the way up towards the railroad, it's terrible. It's wet, water standing everywhere, muddy. I don't even ride it because all it does is make it that much worse. This path right here is in okay shape. All freestand path. It's probably about in the best shape out of all of them back here. That's just because they didn't use it quite as much with that big equipment on it as these other ones. But there's still spots that they messed up though. I was having to work earlier in the week back here and had to open this drainage ditch up right here. It was so much water standing, it was all the way up across this path right here. And I've kind of trenched it out a little bit with a shovel and the blade on the tractor and tried to allow some of that water to flow down that ditch that he had made. But it's still going to hold water, as you can see. I mean, but at least it's not way up here like it was. It was all the way up here where I'm at now a few weeks ago. Path was the same way, you know, he had drainage ditches on both sides of it. He really had it fixed, you know, to where the water would drain off the land good. And like I said, you know, they come back here with that logging equipment and they tore everything up. Probably the muddiest section of this path right here. It doesn't drain, and still not as bad as the others. Riding on the New Creek path now. I'm gonna come down here and try and see if I can find it. It was an old path that was off to the right here, down the ways. Back when all this area was wooded out here, and it really didn't have a name to it. And I rode it a couple of times back when it was woods out here, but ever since they did the logging work, I hadn't been able to really find it again. And that's what I want to try and do now, see if I can find it, see if it's even open so that it can be ridden on again. I just don't know. In fact, it tied in to a path that was down here called Wheels Path. You've probably heard me mention that before. And it was nice though. I mean, it was nice and smooth then, but like I said, I don't know how it is now. That may be it right there, and then again, it may be this part right here. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's this one here. Right down here and see looking like a lot of debris in it to me. A lot of debris. definitely a slow way of travel through here, though. It's rough. Over all the sticks in this path. Unreal. It don't even look like we're going to be able to get through up here. We got a big tree laying across it, so. Well. Like I said, I think this was it, you know. Because right there where that opening is in that tree is where you came. Will's path was on the other side of that creek there. That's the reason that line of trees is there, is because the creek is running through there. And they couldn't, by law, couldn't cut the trees right up against the creek. So, hence the line of trees there. And that opening right there is where the path crossed the creek. And it either went, you know, it went up that way, and then it had a part that came up this way where I'm sitting right now. But as you can see, this is a path that's pretty screwed up. So in fact, I think that other part of path that was over a little ways over here that was cut through there for the logging company to get through, I almost think it's better to ride on than this one is. Might ride over there in just a second and see how that is, if that's any better. I know one thing, this right here is a mess. This path was very smooth before they did all this work, and it had grass in the bottom of it. You know, it wasn't rough like this. This right here was it, if I'm not mistaken. At least this is a little smoother. rock right there. Wow. Well, that's one way of getting to it, but I'm not exactly sure if that was the original path or not. May have been what the logging company cut. That's part of the Wheels path coming right there and went up this way. So it's just a mess everywhere back here. This right here would have been, this actually is, we're on Wheels path now, what's left of it anyway. This will take you back up to the railroad. This was the original path though. I know for a fact that this part is. But even it ain't what it once was. It was real smooth at one time. Get ready to come back out on the railroad here. Guess I better get off and make sure there ain't no sticks up there around those CV boots. I reckon everything looks alright. Around back. That looks alright, I reckon. Just riding on the 128 path now. It's a little while since I've been up it. A while since I've been up any of these paths, really. On the four-wheeler, anyway. There's full of grass now. ride up here to the cow shed and see what's going on. Right up around there. That pond's full right there. Dark up in here. Wet. here at the Montague farm now. Like they plowed these fields just in the past day or two, I think. Take a ride over here to Linwood's Path. Bug in my helmet. These paths are trying to grow in. They had so much rain, it's just like fertilizer to it. It's all these weeds and stuff growing up. Bad thing about it is you can't get back here with the bush hog and the tractor if it's too wet. So it's kind of like it fights you the whole time, you know, it's growing. Stuff needs cut down, but the ground's too soft to work on. So can't win. To see if I saw any of the new pines out here growing, but they must have all died. Sure don't see them. Yeah, there's one right there is dead. That's not good. Whoever set those out must have not known what they were doing, because my guess is they're not supposed to be dead. Montague Creek. Got a little flow to it. Grown up bad out here. Section right here is actually owned by somebody else, but where the property line is up here, there's a rocks across the railroad track, railroad bed, and kind of separates the two people's property. But most of the time, it's kind of rare I come on this end of it, but every once in a while. These are the rocks I'm talking about right here. In order to get around them, you just got to go up here. right up there, the railroad would have crossed the an old 2-lane road up there, and it would have kept on going for a long ways. But you can't go across the road and ride over there because that is private property, and those people don't allow anybody to ride over there, so you have to stay on this side of the road. But from where I started from to that end right there where it touches that road, it's 2 miles. This section right here that I typically ride is 2 miles in length, so that's a pretty good little stretch anyway. Can't complain about that. This path right here, road, you know, it takes you up here to the Montague farm. There's a little path right here, right through there, called Allison's Path. I'd go up it if it was mowed down some, but it's just a shortcut basically from here to the Montague farm. I mean, it kind of puts you out behind the old barn up there, the stable area. But other than that, it's just kind of just a shortcut path, nothing special about it really. Puts you out right about on the other side of that field right there behind that barn. This is the old home place here, and somebody still lives here though. Right around here down by this old pond. I ain't never been by it before. Big one though. That right there was the old stable area. I guess it was fenced in at one time. I'm not sure exactly what all these barns were. I think some of them may have been, you know, like, I don't know if that was a chicken coop back there, house. That was the main barn right there. It's part of the stable, has stalls on each side. And this was the shop right here where they'd work on things. These are like tobacco curing barns right here, straight in front. Definitely very old though, because if I'm not mistaken, as I had said before, that veteran of the Civil War, his home was over there across the railroad track originally, and then he decided to come up here where the Montague house is and that was his home that he built. And I guess after he died, the Montague family bought it from him, bought it from his family, something like that. That's kind of how the story went, best of my knowledge. But all those barns and everything, I think the majority of them were already there. So when the Montague family moved in there, it wasn't really a whole lot that they had to do. It was already an established farm. House was there, barns were there, you know, so it wasn't, they kind of just moved in and kind of took it over, that family did. So. And the Montague family is still, are still in ownership of this farm as of today. Some of the, you know, children, grandchildren of the original family. Used to be a barn right there where that pile of logs is at, but it caved in, and they went on and knocked it on down so that it wouldn't fall on somebody. This barn right here is still standing pretty good. It's kind of hard to tell it. I don't know if you can see or not, but that right there is a framework to an old wagon, like a horse-drawn wagon. That's all that's left of it. That's the framework to it, though. This area right in here was a little, they cut through here to drive the log skidders through. And right back here they had the crane thing, or claw, you know, that picked the logs up, put it on the trailer. Logging trucks would back down in here and they'd load them. But the skidders would come up through here. Looking down in there about how steep that is of a drop off that they had to climb up to get up on here. But you can see all the debris they left behind, though. The original path came up this hill right here, and I think they didn't want to come through there because there's a creek down there at the bottom. Part of Montague Creek is right down there about middle way, and anyway, these be bush hogged, though. Wasn't in here either. They logging company hauled that in so they could get some traction with those logging trucks. And because I think at one point it got kind of wet down in there, and they were getting stuck. I'll tell you one thing, everything needs mowing. Ain't been down here in so long, boy, everything's grown up so tall. Look at that, would you? Just be on the safe side, use some 4-wheel drive. It was deeper than I thought. See exactly where the path used to be out here. I know it went right through here because this is the other part of it. Wow. little too brushy for my taste, I tell you. Path right here will put us back on Linwood's path. Here we are. Put you out back right here on the railroad, 128 pass over there. Yep. Some of B's horse manure from yesterday. I rode her back here yesterday. Hell, I'm on my way home now. Take the tall tree stand path back. considered it was a good ride today. I got a little cold now, you know, it's supposed to get down in the 40s. But it's pretty nice though when the sun was out. Paths you could always build up a lot of speed on. Getting ready to come up on the tall tree stand itself. Little hill right here steeper than it looks. Across the creek again. If you can make it out on camera or not, but there's a right there, it looks like a rock sitting in the water right there. Well, it's not a rock, it's a drain pipe there to allow the water to drain out of the pond when it overflows. That little thing right there, it looks like a rock, is actually a turtle. The turtle is stuck in the pipe, and I'm assuming that he's dead, but he's lodged in the pipe, and it's actually blocking the pipe from draining. So imagine that. But thankfully they put in another pipe here a while back to help that one drain, so this one will have to suffice until somebody goes out there on a boat or something or another and gets that turtle out of that pipe. That's like a chance happening. I mean, what are the odds of that? A turtle getting stuck in the drain pipe, especially one that's sticking straight up. He must have got drawn in, the suction or something of the drain must have kind of pulled him to it. He got hung up in it. I don't know, drowned or something or another. There's another pond right up here straight ahead on top of that hill there. It's leaking. somehow or another the drain pipe in it is leaking up underwater, and you can see the water has been running out of it now for weeks on end. It's currently running as we speak. Running out of that one and spilling into this pond. Somebody's going to have to come back here and check on their ponds. Check out the drainage situation. Kind of sketchy. There's another pond right down in there, a small one. Both that pond and then the other one that I said that was leaking, which is a lot bigger, they both spill into that pond that's got the turtle stuck in the pipe. All of them are used for irrigation, irrigate these tobacco fields out here when there's tobacco out here, but this year they're not planting out here. They rotate the field so the nutrients aren't depleted.